Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Let's shift focus now to another sector which has absolutely been the vanguard, especially after the rupee depreciation. The rupee depreciation obviously making news all of last week. The currency scaling 70-30 lows, new lows in response to the lira crisis and, of course, our own internal trade deficit issues. To discuss how much this tailwind can bring benefits to IT companies, we are now joined by Rostow Ravanan, Managing Director and CEO of Mindtree. Good morning, Rostow. Thank you very much for joining us. That really is the first question. It is 70. It looks unlikely that it's going to go much lower from here, the dollar that is. So how do things improve for you? On a percentage basis, how much can EPS improve?
Hey Lata, thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. Always happy to be here. Before I answer your question, wanted to congratulate you, and I've been a recent fan of your Indianomics show. I think it's coming out really well. Okay. You have a nice balance of asking tough questions, but also teasing out the speakers to give out interesting information. Greatly enjoyed the show over the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Coming to your question. Let me answer it in two perspectives. Mathematically, about 1% change in the rupee is a 35 to 40 basis points impact to our margins. As an exporter, depreciating rupee benefits margins and appreciating rupee hurts our margins. But the mathematical equation is about a 30 to 40 basis points impact for a 1% change in the rupee. But I want to zoom out of the mathematics for a second. Every year over the last 3 or 4 years, we've seen a similar phenomenon where suddenly something happens and the rupee hits a new, a new spike. We want to keep the spike aside for a second. Want to share with you and with your viewers that what's more important is the average for the quarter. If the rupee, for example, starts recovering from tomorrow morning, theoretically, and gets back to the 67, 68 for the rest of this quarter, that is what is more important for us at one level. The second is at what level does the rupee end on the last day of the month? Because a lot of the accounting impact happens based on the closing rate. So individual spikes during the quarter mean little lesser than the quarter average and the quarter ending rate.
Okay, so Mr. Ravanan, good morning. On an average, what kind of margins do you think you can clock X of the currency move? Because if you look at the last 4 or 5 quarters, you've been in the range of around 11% on the downside to as high as about 16% on the upside. Over the next few quarters, can you guide us to what the margins may look like?
Like we have shared before, officially we don't give guidance, but again, like we've shared before, for full year FY19, we are on a trajectory to improve margins compared to FY18. We recognize many things went out of our control over the last 2 or 3 years. Margins took a beating, taking a lot of conscious efforts to bring margins back under control. Like you saw over the last 3 or 4 quarters, we made progress, and this year as well, on a full year basis, we are committed to improving margins at an operational level, X of currency. Anything comes or goes because of currency is over and above that, but operationally, we are confident that we will improve margins over last year.
Okay, what about revenues as well, Rostow? Not just even your language was extremely optimistic in terms of deal wins, but other IT companies are also speaking very optimistically. Should we assume that the size and number of digital deal wins are rising?
Two parts to your question, Lata. Firstly, we are very confident of our growth. If you see over the last 2 or 3 quarters, whether it is quarter-over-quarter revenue increase or in terms of underlying factors like deal wins, etc., have been very strong. The business still will have quarterly volatility, so you can't expect a straight line sort of growth momentum given the nature of the industry at the moment. But speaking only for Mindtree, I think we are confident of our full year growth this year compared to last year as well. Second part to your question, yes, we are absolutely seeing an increase both in the size and complexity of digital deals. The expectation that we are getting from many of our customers is that they started with transforming their front end, maybe one brand or one geography, and now they are doing a complete left to right transformation of their front end. We are in the middle of a similar kind of a journey with many of our clients right now. While we are in the middle of that, we are beginning to see the front to back kind of transformation where the customers are even digitizing their core operations, core in IT landscape at the moment. So we are beginning to see, both in terms of size and complexity, much larger deals in digital.